Hey BookTube, it's Jackie. How's it going? If you're new to me, it's the first time you're seeing my face. Hello, what's up? My name's Jackie. I sit on my floor and I talk about books. So I hope that's why you're here, because that's what's gonna be happening today. If you're not new to me, thank you for always tuning in and continued support. I really do appreciate it. So today for you, as you can see for today's style of video, I have another book review for you, and this is all on Lucian Bane's Butterfly and Augustine, and it looks like this. This is the third installment to the Royal Bastards Motorcycle Club series, the Newark, New Jersey chapter, and I have done a full book review on book 1 and 2, and I will link the playlist here in the corner, so you can go check those out if you'd like. But if you'd like to see my opinions on the third installment of this crazy-ass fucking multiple personality fucking having motorcycle club series, where there's 5 dudes in one, grab yourself a drink, have yourself a seat, let's get talking some books. Okay, so Butterfly and Augustine, third installment to the motorcycle, Royal Bastards Motorcycle Club series, Newark, New Jersey. And as I previously stated, I have done a full book review on the first and second, and the playlist is linked here, and it's also in the down box below. So please go check those out, because this is a direct follow-up to those 2 books. You will have to have read the first 2 books to understand this one at the fuck all. But here's a few stats about it. We do have another unique why choose reverse harem component, as we do have 5 personalities all synced up into one vessel, and she has relations with all of them. We all have our own separate entities, so definitely falls under the category of reverse harem. And I really, really like this concept. I think it's a unique form of it. So if you like reverse harems, this is a unique take on it, and it continues from book 1 all the way to this one, and it's still carried through, and it's done very, very, very well. We also have forced proximity in this one, as there are a few scenes where they are forced to be together, for lack of a better term, so forced proximity is definitely brought into this one. We also have graphic sexual content and a lot more of gang violence. This one's probably the more violent of the 3 in just traditional gang violence, and there is a lot of graphic sexual content in this one, probably more than the previous 2 installments. So this one packs a punch, just like I wanted. Just like I wanted packs a punch, so yay. We also show dubious consent in this, and we do have overarching religious themes in this one as well. So a lot of similar stats in the previous books, but some biggies for sure. Now, why did I choose this book? I chose this book because I'm actually reviewing the entirety of the series. This is a 5-book series, so I will be doing a review on each individual book, and I don't know if I'm going to be doing a review on the spin-off series. I'm still debating about that, but we'll see how that goes with this one. But that's one main reason why I picked this book up, is because I was reading the series and I was asked to review the whole thing, and one of the main reasons why. But aside from being asked to, I was gonna fucking read these books anyway, because they're awesome. Lucian Bane is a very skillful writer, and he has a very unique perspective. I mean, this story is about a guy who has 5 personalities banging the same chick, and they all inhabit the same body, and they're fighting amongst each other for her attention and her affection, and I think that's fantastic. I think that's an awesome angle to a story, and then you throw a motorcycle club reference into it, and I think that's dope. I think that's fantastic. So I was already on board to read this book and talk about it for sure. So a brief summary about this installment. We still follow Butterfly and our guys, and this picks up right where Butterfly and Pain left off. We are continuing to learn about how our heroes came to be the way that they are, why and how they are the way that they are. And we get some further reveals into that. We get a lot more backstory information on that, and we get a lot of answers. Not a lot of resolutions to problems, but we get a lot of answers which will lead to resolutions for sure. We are given a lot more knowledge and missing pieces that are now they seem to almost sync all of our guys together to make one cohesive unit. And it's really, really fascinating and interesting to read, to see how that plot development plays out, along with also building relationships with Butterfly in each one of our 5 personalities. Continuation. Now, a brief spoiler warning, because this is the 3rd installment in a consecutive series. You do have to read book 1 and 2 to understand this. So if you have not read Butterfly and Atlas, which is the 1st installment, or Butterfly in Pain, which is the second installment, you need to stop this and go read it, because I will spoil both of those books for you in this video. I will not spoil this one. This one will not get spoiled, but those two, because there's not a damn way I can talk about this book without referencing those, and there's some big points in there that now have to be talked about to understand what's going on in this one. So those two books will get spoiled. So if you've not read those and you want to read those, stop this, go fucking read them. They are on KU. They're fantastic. Please go read them and have a great time with them and come back and join me, because those two will be spoiled, but this one will not be spoiled for you. Also, I have done a full book review, as I said, on book 1 and 2. I will be referencing both of those videos in this review. So if you've not seen those, they're linked in the down box below and they were linked to the corner earlier. Go watch them and then come on back, because I don't want you spoiled for those either. But if you don't care about spoilers and you're just here for the ride and you want to have a fucking good time, well, let's party. All right, let's do this. All right, so what worked? First thing I always look for in any continuation, sequel, any follow-up book to a sequel, anything, continuity. The continuity picks up, like I said, directly where Butterfly in Pain left off. I mean, when I say directly, like the prologue of this book is the last chapter from Butterfly in Pain. So he gave that to you because it was so important that you remembered that information. It is, you cannot put a price on on how valuable that information is at the end of that book to this installment. So the continuity, not a fucking issue. It was there. It was on point. He gave you the previous fucking chapter in the prologue and then carried right on. I mean, sentences match up like perfect. Like here's a sentence, boom. He could have just made a continuous paragraph and he cuts it and ends a book there. But it's that close to continuity in this. And also he does a really good job as later on in the book, referencing things that happen in Butterfly and Atlas. We go all the way back to Butterfly and Atlas in this book as well. And he handles those areas really, really well. He doesn't, I never at one point in time felt like I had to go back and read any of this book, the previous two installments, to actually understand what was going on. So I had a great time with it. Continuity is there. If continuity is usually a problem for you because some authors lack it, you do not have to worry about it in this one. He takes very, very good care of you. Lucian Bane has the continuity factor on point and on lock, and it's good, it's solid, 2 thumbs way up. So at the end of my previous video for Butterfly and Pain, one of my final thoughts was I have a lot going in to this book, because the first one gave me the carnality, the second one gave me the emotion, and I really wanted this one to pack a punch. Well, it fucking did. I am happy to say this one packed a fucking punch to the gut. This opening scene was so explosive, so intimidating. It set the entire tone for the rest of the book. It was like, here, you're on a roller coaster, hold the fuck on. And by the way, you don't have a seatbelt, it's not working, but please keep all your arms and legs in the roller coaster, because you're about to fly the fuck out if you don't. Yeah, fuck. That punch was not held. He threw it full force and it landed hard. Just with that opening scene, it's so just, what the fuck did I just read? Serious? I have a whole book of this, and you do. You have a whole book of that opening scene. Just bam, bam, bam. Fuck. It was definitely like a splash of fucking cold water in your face in the morning, or a shot of coffee to your fucking veins, or fucking straight hair, I don't know. It was a straight shot of something, and it woke you the fuck up. It did. So he's not holding back any punches in this book at the fuck all. He doesn't hold back anything. Nothing. Which was great because, again, he's giving me another layer of his writing. Every single installment I've read of him so far in this series has given me another layer to him as an author. And I really, really enjoy this. Not only am I seeing a development of plot lines and characters, I'm also seeing a development of an author and showing me what he can do and how far he can take it, how far he can push me, how far he can bring me back. Have a great fucking time, dude. Great fucking time. Definitely that opening scene sets the tone of the book, and it already told me that I'm in for a fucking ride. The next thing that worked in this book was the plot development. So there's a lot of plot lines that were set up in the first book, almost too many. But this one definitely narrows down a lot of them and can take some of these multiple plot lines and finally blends them together, melds them together. Not all of them, but some of the smaller ones are now condensed into a much larger one. And it's fucking dope. It's fucking dope. I'm so excited to see where we go with this overarching plot line. That's actually the plot line that's not involved with relationships. This is the story, not the relationship aspect to this. And I really am excited about it. I think it is dope. And I cannot wait to see exactly how it all plays out. We start in this installment, get a lot of missing pieces, like I said, and it starts to really fill in these gaps and these holes that were confusing in the first two books, but it was okay because you had so much other stuff to focus on. And now that some of that other stuff has been kind of not completely resolved, but it's resolved to a point where you can kind of just like, okay, I'm done working with this a little bit. I'm going to go work on this other problem that was kind of confusing that I kind of put to the side. Now we're getting the missing pieces to kind of fill in those gaps. And you're starting to see how all of these things start to sync together. And it's fucking awesome. And I'm having such a good time with it. It was so cool. It was such a cool experience to starting putting the pieces to this puzzle. Because I love puzzles. I fucking love puzzles. Me and Colt have this in common. And I was starting to see the picture, and I am down for this fucking picture. I am ready to see it completed, for sure. Definitely. I also, some of these pieces, they don't resolve all the issues, but you start seeing where the resolution is starting to go, and that's really cool. But, and I say but, because the twists in this book are fucking on point, and one of these twists was not where I thought he was gonna go. So there is a huge plot reveal to this, and it is a twist. And yes, I'm going to say this. This is where I saw this book going. This is where I saw it. But I am so happy that it was confirmed because it is the furthest option. Like, I had so many ideas of where he could go with the end of Butterfly in Pain, because I was trying to figure out this wall component that they discovered, that they need to get on the other side of this wall to figure out what's going on and kind of figure out who they are as a missing, who they were before they just woke up as this. You know, our guys woke up as this. And I had this idea that was so far-fetched and overreaching, so out there. There's no way. I was like, there's no fucking way he's gonna do this. And he fucking did. I have never been so happy to be insane. I fucking love that. When I saw that, I felt so validated. I was so fucking happy. I was in bed and I was just like, I was right. I was right. I love being right, okay? I love being right. And when I was right, I was like, yes. But I love that it was the crazy fucking option that I had. The one that's so far-fetched. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way an author's gonna do this. And he fucking did. And I just, I ate all of that up. That was fantastic for me. That big plot twist. And now I cannot wait to figure out how it gets resolved and how he's going to fix it. Because that was why it's so far-fetched, because the fixing, I have zero idea how you fix that. Like, how do you even go about really correcting that, or are you even going to correct it? So many new questions with this big, huge plot twist, but I was so fucking happy that he went that extra mile, and he just went like I said, no punches, nothing was held back. He's like, I'm gonna go full bore, fuck you, you don't like it, have a nice fucking day. And I'm loving it, so I'm having a great fucking day regardless of loving it. So, you know, that's awesome. I loved it. Also, I loved that some characters do some shit that I wasn't expecting them to do. Some characters that I've already kind of thought I knew. I don't fucking know. Lucian Bane has this way of getting you comfortable with a character and then saying, hey, guess what? There's another side, so flip the coin and fuck you. We're gonna do this now with this person. And you're like, what? So, wait, what? He's not the, oh, he's the, shit. Where the fuck are you gonna go with that? So we've got baddies turning to goodies, goodies turning to baddies. We've got some role reversals here. It's all up in the fucking air. So many balls in the air, and I have no idea how half of them are gonna land. It's fucking great. Besides some characters turning and these big twists, in this installment, we get some new characters. And that is so much fucking fun, because one of these new characters I fucking adore. And I love him, and I love what he did, and I thought it was ballsy, and I thought it was great, and I wanted more of him. I was really okay with him for a majority of this book. I had a great time with him, and I'm really, really excited to see how he is going to be incorporated and synced up with the guys. I think that's going to be a really fun experience in the upcoming novels, and how he's going to flush that out for sure. Because some of these new characters bring in some of these new characters are bringing in these missing pieces that I've been talking about to kind of discovering our hero's backstory. And it's so cool to see how they're revealed, how they're laid out, previous plans that I was not aware of and now are going to be causing further dilemma for some of our characters that are already instilled in the novel series already. So yeah, so not only is the new character fucking dope, has a great fucking personality, and I like him. I like him a lot. Not only is he giving me missing pieces of information that I'm now putting in these puzzles that I'm obsessed with, not only is he doing all of this, but now he's causing further drama that I can sink my teeth into and really get excited about, because I feel like some of the things that he has brought to the table are definitely going to be issues in future books that are going to be major problems for our heroine and our heroes alike, and together and separated from each other for sure. And I love that Bane in this installment gave us more to our previous plots, but then gave us more plots that we can look on down the road. And I think it's going to be fucking dope for sure. Definitely us, just all the balls in the air. All the balls in the air with this installment for sure. Not only do we get new characters, but we also get some more development with some of our previous characters. We get a lot of backstories in this. And I really enjoyed that. We get to learn kind of about Payne's backstory and Augustine's backstory. And I really enjoyed that, because now they're becoming more of their own entities to me. We're starting to see them individualized, not as a unit, but more independent as they were before Butterfly came into the picture, when they had their own individual days. Because we only got a very brief window in Butterfly and Atlas when they each had their own days. It only happened for a very small period of time. And Butterfly even says that. She's like, well, they had independent days up until I came around, and then they started to, do ride-alongs. So we've never really had this, independent system where it's just me and one of them each day of the week. And now we're getting some of the backstory of each of those individual people, so it makes those moments where it's just Butterfly and that character so much nicer to experience and to enjoy, because you have a little bit more history of our hero instead of just our heroine. And I thought that was really great. We also get to see her alone with more characters. We finally get a Harlow and Butterfly scene where they're alone. Completely alone. And I'm telling you, people, that was fucking worth the wait. That scene was worth the wait. I was so fucking happy, because I didn't think Harlow was gonna be my favorite. I didn't really think I was gonna like Harlow, because he seemed more of like, honestly, to me, he seemed the weakest of the five. Like, he was the little golden retriever. He'd do whatever you wanted. No, he is not. I don't think he actually is what he says he is, but he's conveying it fairly well. Fairly well. I still think if Colt wants to do something, he's gonna fucking do it regardless of what you say or not. So Colt's still my favorite. And I didn't get a lot of Colt in this one, but that's okay because I got to see more of the other guys for sure. But yeah, we finally get a scene with Butterfly and Harlow, and it's so worth the wait, people. So worth the wait. And we also get some scenes with Augustine and Butterfly, which were worth the wait because if you remember from the previous books, every Augustine and Butterfly scene was always tainted with this forced element. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to be part of it. And now we get to see him open and accepting and wanting her and her giving it right back. And I thought that was awesome. But we do learn why. We learn why Augustine was the way he was and why he's not now. So a big, huge piece revealed now opens up our characters to experiencing Butterfly like the way some of our other characters have experienced her. And it's really, really nice. It's nice to see everybody just kind of sort of getting along. Not always fighting and being dicks to each other. It's kind of nice. So definitely a good time with the new information that we get about our characters we already loved, along with our new character. And we even get some Butterfly time with our new character, which is really, really, really informative. Really informative. You want to pay close attention to those scenes because those scenes are going to come back. I have a feeling and bite us in the ass later. They're going to bite us in the ass and I'm down. Yep, it's going to be a good time. Another thing that I really enjoyed in this installment was Bane writes his sex scenes in a very dualistic nature in this book. We get a lot of sex in this book. We get a lot of aggressive, we get a lot of angry, we get a lot of mean, we get a lot of forced, we get a lot of damn near what I would consider sexual assault in this book. And so we definitely see sex used as a weapon a lot. But we also see what it can do on its healing side. So to have the author literally put sex scenes that are very, very weaponized and very, very malicious in intent and very, very almost, just malicious in intent, trying to get people to do what they need them to do things, right next to a very healing, emotionally bonding, pleasant experience. To have those side by side and to have them done as well as they are, I thought was fantastic. I thought it was done really, really well, and I had a great time with it. I loved seeing the dualistic nature of this human experience that we all share in. And I thought it was great. He did a really, really good job with it, for sure. Had a fun time with it. There is a lot of sex in this book, a lot. So you get to see that comparison a lot on both sides, for sure. I've already mentioned the twists, but I'm telling you, I have to reiterate this, the twists are dope. They are dope. We have characters turning. We have big, huge reveals that completely change the whole dynamic of characters and their backgrounds and their stories and their connections. Holy shit. So many big, important plot developments that are not to the relationship in this story. There is a lot of them. There's a lot of them. But a lot of stuff worked in this book. Great third installment. But because this is a direct follow-up, I do believe it's important to talk about the issues that I had in the previous installments to see if they got elevated, relieved, or just kind of left alone. So these are the issues that I had with the previous installment. The previous installment of Butterfly and Pain, I did not have any issues with the new material in Butterfly and Pain. Everything that was introduced that was new, had no issues with. Now, I did have issues with Butterfly and Atlas, and some of them were relieved in Butterfly and Pain. A lot of them were elevated. Some of them were completely gone. However, in this installment, I did see some of those come back. So in the first one, I thought the MC references were lacking, and we did get to see more in Butterfly and Pain, and we do see it again in this one. So the MC references have continued to grow as the series grows. So we get to see a lot more Motorcycle Club references, and we got to see the violence of a motorcycle club in this one. And that was a dope fucking scene. Holy shit, was that awesome. I fucking loved our guys in that and how fucking crazy they were. That was sick as fuck and I loved it. I don't really have triggers. The gore in it was done really, really well, and I thought it was really intense. It was very, very intense. It was really nice to see that intensity that Bane can write in a sex scene applied to this graphic violence in this gang scene. That same level of intensity that you're just in it and you can't walk away from, you can't take your eyes off of, was definitely given to this gang violence scene that we saw towards the end of this book, and it was awesome. It was awesome, but it was a little bit more on the gorier side, so I do want to make that known. If you are not a fan of gore, there is a little bit more gore in this book compared to the others, so I just want to preference this that it's there, but it is done really, really well. And if you like Bane's intensity that he writes in his sex scenes, he has it for those action scenes too. And so that's really, really nice to know that you have that same familiar set of hands carrying you through. But if you're not a gore person, I need to warn you that there is a little more gore in this book than any other installment. So in the first installment, I felt like Atlas, the main character, the title character of Butterfly and Atlas, got lost. And in Butterfly and Pain, that was really alleviated because it was more focused on Pain. We did see the rest of the guys, but it was more focused on Pain and Butterfly and kind of developing their relationship. This one being about Augustine, for about half the portion of the book, I thought I was losing Augustine. I really did. I thought I was losing him, but once I started getting Augustine back, I realized that there was a reason that I was losing him. And without spoiling the book, trust that when you read this installment, you might think, they're like, this is Augustine's installment. Why are we not really talking about Augustine? You are talking about Augustine, just in a different perspective. It's all about those missing pieces that are coming into play. So just, if that was an issue for you, if you read these books and you found that you held the same view, you might feel like he's gone back on his ways and said, God, you're losing the main character. And you're not. You're not. But you have to just trust the process, trust your author. He will take care of you in that regard. So this is one of the ones you just gotta blindly trust. All right. Another issue that I had with the very first installment that I did not have with the second installment was the length. The first installment was like 200 something pages. The second installment was in the 300s. This installment on my Kindle read at 188 pages. That was the version that I was given. And I felt that this version needed to be longer. These plots, these developments are so crucial. They're being developed. Like, this is hardcore important information to understand and to process. And I don't feel like we were given enough fleshing out in this installment. So I feel like he might have taken a step back here, but I have faith because he did it once and he gave me what I wanted the next time around. So I have faith that in the next installment, everything's get fleshed out and I'm going to understand these introduction to these new ideas, new ideologies. I can't fucking talk. Can't say that word today. So I feel like, yes, this installment needed to be longer just because of all those big, huge, new crucial developments. I feel like we needed more time, but I know based off what I've read from him before, he's going to take care of that. So I'm not worried, but I just wanted to make that aware in case other people feel the same way, that I have faith in him that he will take care of me in the next book and give me that, because he's kind of has this pattern so far. But this installment the installment I received was only 188 pages, and it could have been longer just because of the amount of information we were given. I felt like a little bit more time would have been really beneficial to this one. But I'm not worried. I know he'll take care of me. And another issue that I had that kind of carried through the first two installments was this demon possession. This idea that the guys are demon possessed. in the first one, I didn't understand it at all. I was trying to figure out, like, are they really possessed? Is this some kind of religious connotation? Is it something going to be brought up later? And in Butterfly in Pain, I was still trying to process it. I didn't really quite understand it. This book, completely alleviated. Completely fucking alleviated. I am not worried about this idea at all. I know exactly where he's going with it, and I think it's fucking brilliant. So, kudos. I am A-okay with this now. A-fucking-okay. So, great follow-up from the first two previous installments. Again, I didn't have any issues with the new working material in the second one. These were issues that kind of stayed or alleviated from the first one, and kind of how he handled them in this book. So he did a really good job of maintaining kind of that balance of carrying over. MC references definitely bumped up. We got to see violence. We are not losing Augustine. He's just giving him in a different viewpoint. Length did need to be a little bit longer, I feel like, and demon possession I'm pretty okay with. I'm not worried about any fucking more. Now, there was another issue that I had in the first installment that definitely caused some controversy. I was not a huge fan of Butterfly in the very first installment. And in the second installment, she started to grow on me. So here's the butterfly effect. She is still starting to grow on me. She's still not my favorite. She's still not my favorite. I'm a flat out minute. She's still not my favorite. And this book kind of made me take a step back because she did some stuff that kind of annoyed me. And with someone who's I'm trying to grow, build a relationship with, annoying me didn't really help matters. It didn't make me dislike her anymore, but it didn't make me like her any more than what I've started to grow to. But in this one, I definitely saw Butterfly get her shit rocked. She got handed physical bullshit and emotional bullshit and mental bullshit. She got her brain, body, and emotions and heart literally, figuratively rocked, and not in the best ways. She went through the fucking gauntlet in this one, and damn, I gotta give the props to the girl. She still kept her held her head high through the entirety of the book. She still tried to keep going forward, never trying to regress back. She never really giving up. So she kept plowing through. So I gotta applaud the girl on that one. That's definitely a characteristic that I did not see from Butterfly in the first book. I did not see her being able to hold, and she did. And the characteristics that Bane gave her in this one and the scenarios he put her in, she definitely held her own for most of them. Most of them I think she handled pretty fucking well, and I appreciated that. I did. It definitely made her a little bit stronger in my eyes than the first two previous installments, for sure. So not only did I get to see her as her away from the guys in the second installment, now I got to see her kind of away from the guys and how she deals with drama away from the guys, and how she deals with literal, figurative, and physical bullshit happening to her. So I do applaud her on that. I do enjoy her growth on that for sure. I definitely see future dilemmas for her, and I do not pity her at the fuck all, because I would not want those at all. None whatsoever. These dilemmas are definitely going to be, I have a feeling, very dramatic points in future installments of this series, and I am down for it. I hope that she will be able to prevail. I'm going to wish the best for her, but I think she needs to be a little bit stronger, because I also saw her in this installment kind of almost being a martyr, and it was slightly irritating. There were times where I thought the Butterfly that I met in the previous installment, she would have reacted differently. And because of information that was given to her, her initial reaction was to say something. But after processing some of these new pieces of information, it almost felt like she was becoming a martyr. And I didn't enjoy that at all. I didn't enjoy the martyrdom aspect. But it was very, very brief. It was only about 2 times that she did that was kind of like, are you really going to do this? But for the most part, I did see her grow, just regressed a few times. And so I still have hope. She's still growing on me. She's still not my favorite, but she is growing on me. And I am enjoying seeing this arc with her. I enjoy her enough to want to see her outcome. Definitely, for sure. So the butterfly effect is still in full effect. over here at First Lady Reads. Now, what did not work in this installment, and this is based off of the new material that was given in this installment only. I've already gone over my previous issues and how this installment fits into them and the butterfly effect, so this is just on the new material. This installment, like I said, opened up with a punch. This thing delivers a fucking punch to the gut, and you have no air. Like, it knocked the air out of me. And I never regained it. I never regained a sense of processing time. In Butterfly and Pain, there was some big revelations, but he gave me a revelation and gave me time to process it. This one, I didn't really get a lot of time to process. This thing moved very, very fast for the amount of new information that we were given. And because of how valuable this information is. This stuff is crucial to understanding our guys. It is crucial material, and I would really have enjoyed a little bit of brevity to really absorb that and retain it, and not just bam, 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 bam. I would have enjoyed more length in this book, as I already said, because of that guttural punch and how fast he moved in this. Just a little bit of brevity would have been nice in this installment. Just a little bit, but I didn't really get any. It was just bam, 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 bam. Either with the plot line, with a missing piece, with the sex, with the emotion. It was just, here's all the stuff, have at it. I need to breathe. I need to breathe. So, the other thing I felt that didn't work in this, and this one could work or not work depending on what you are reading this series for, okay? This really depends on you as the reader of what you're wanting from this series. If you are reading this series for Bane's smut and sex scenes and carnality and visceral experience, eroticism, this installment, this is not something that is wrong with this installment. This is a bonus to this installment because this one is extremely sex heavy. There is a lot of sex in this book. There is a lot. I did not actually count every single sex scene, but I would probably say at least 75% of this book is sex. Now, sex is a crucial element to a lot of our plot development. Kind of how Butterfly kind of collects her guys and brings them into her web. Almost, not so much like a butterfly, but something else, some other 8-legged creature, kind of brings them in. So sex is a huge component to their relationship, to kind of their speaking to each other in a way that words can't convey. So I understand the need for as much sex as there in this book. So if you're reading these books for his carnality and his eroticism, you are well taken care of in this book. However, if you are reading this series because you really like the creative use of mental health representation, his creative use of traditional romance book tropes, if you are reading this book for his over-the-top, out-of-this-world, crazy fucking scenarios and his plot story, this one doesn't hit. There is so much plot development in this book, but it is completely overshadowed by the amount of sex in this book. If you are reading this series for the real story element of these guys and this component, how they came to be. If you're reading it for the romance, you're fine. This is not a fucking issue. But to me, after book 2, when I started learning about the guys and started figuring out all the questions and started trying to figure out the answers, this series for me started to become more about that storyline and how they came to be and what they are going to do with it and how it's going to work. The romance is still very strong, but it's not the main thing I'm reading these books for anymore. I already know Lucian Bane can write a sex scene. I know damn well that I'm going to be turned on within an inch of my life or edged within an inch of my life by reading one of his books. I'm already fucking fully aware of that. I want the meat of the story. I want the connective moments. I want the drama. I want the action that he can also give in abundance. And for me, I didn't get that. I got a lot of plot development, yes, but I got much more sex than I did plot in this book. So for me, that was something for me. But if you are reading these books for his romance, this is not an issue. But if you are reading it for everything other than the romance in these stories, because they are fucking fire, because he can write more than just romance. You could take the romance of the story and I would read the story about these guys and kind of their backstories and what they were doing and, you know, this experiment or how they came to be, or are they not? Like, what happened to them? I would read this book despite the romance because that plot line is that good and I almost wanted more of that. If I would have had an equal balance, I wouldn't have had an issue, but I had much more sex than this, for sure. The second book gave me a lot of connective moments to our guys and Butterfly, and I was lacking those moments in this book, just like I was in the first book. And again, it is probably because he only had 188 pages. When Lucian Bane has the length, has the page count to work with, he uses it well. When he doesn't have the page count, he gets a lot of things in and then he takes care of you later. So it's just kind of, I feel like this is a pattern and it's okay, but I really enjoyed getting those connective moments in the book too. So I was really looking forward to having them in this one. And I didn't get as many as I thought I was going to, but I did get some. I did. There was a really adorable scene of our girl and our guys trying to figure out the days of the week and how they were going to go about doing it and who was going to start. And I thought that was quite adorable, but that was about as connective as I was really getting for their kind of remote romance, because everything else was so, it was either tinged with something else plot-wise, or it was fixing a scenario, introducing new material, something else. So that was really the only like hardcore connective moment that I could really grasp onto in this story, for sure. Spice rating on this one, it's a lot of fucking sex. It's 4 chili pepper, he bumped it back up. He bumped the fucker back up. This thing was super, super heavy on the sex, and it's all great. It's all great. Even the almost non-consent, dubious consent, almost looking like sexual assault stuff, still done really, really fucking well. Dude can write a fucking sex scene. Straight up, he can. There is no denying it. 3 books under my belt for him, and I am still impressed by his sex scenes and his versatility in sex scenes. Like, there's not a single scene that is reminiscent of a previous sex scene. And this series is dripping. It is sopping wet. Okay? It is. And it's all unique. It's all fresh. It's all different. So definitely he keeps that vein going immensely. And I just, fucking loved it. This one, however, does walk the line of sexual assault a lot more than the previous novel. And that actually surprised me. I was not expecting that at all, actually. And when I got it, I was like, whoa. Okay, we're getting a little darker here. Like, okay, all right. I can go down this road, that's fine. So I was really impressed by that. I was impressed by the way he handled it and the way he did it. I thought he was done very well with tact and consideration of the characters. And we definitely got to see some retribution for it. So we definitely did not just get the act and then just let go. We got some aftermath for it. Some, I don't want to say reckoning, but definitely some discussions were had. We'll go with that. And we saw sex used as a straight up weapon in this. There is a very, very graphic scene, without giving away any information or spoiling this plot for you. There is a scene where Butterfly is put in a situation where it's either I do this or we are both seriously harmed. And it's crazy the characters that are involved in that scene. Did not see that coming at all, and mouth dropped when I saw that. I was like, whoa. Okay, so we're doing this now. All right, well, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna reserve myself on this one because I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel. I'm still trying to figure that out. So yeah, great job on the sex of this book, but the man can write a sex book or sex scene for sure. There was no doubt that I had no qualms or issues or concerns that this book was not going to pack the sex punch just like the other ones had, for sure. This one is considerably darker in the sex scenes though compared to the others, so you have been warned. Which brings me to my final thoughts. I believe I have a clear idea of where the author is going, and I am down. I am down for it, and I am excited, and I cannot wait. I am really anxious to see how these new characters, these new pieces, now that they've all kind of sort of synced up, play out. I'm very excited to see this new dynamic that has been introduced in this story, for sure. Cannot wait to see where that goes. I feel that this installment is very important because of the plot developments that are given in this installment. But I also feel that this, out of the three, is the most of a bridge book. This definitely, a lot of stuff happens, but not a lot of resolutions are made. You see where resolutions are going to be happening. So I very much feel between Butterfly and Pain and Butterfly and Augustine, this one is more of the traditional bridge book in a series. It is also the middle of the series, so I think that's also why it lends to the bridging ability. But it does not suffer from a follow-up book hangover. It's still enticing in its own right. It's still exciting. I mean, it does not stop. It does not stop. As soon as you read page 1, shit doesn't stop till the end. And then you have to sit back and be like, I need a cigarette because I need to breathe. Yeah, I need a drink. I need a cigarette. I need an orgasm. I need something. I need something to relieve all this fucking tension. Yeah, that's what this book does. So definitely I think I'm over the bridge. But I'm just about to enter the next side, for lack of a better word. So I definitely feel like this was the bridging book of this series. And I'm super excited to see where the rest of this goes, for sure. Very excited. And to my author, Lucian, if you're watching this, and I hope you are watching this, thank you. Thank you again for this installment. This was definitely a fun time. My final rating for this book is 3 stars. Out of all of them, this was the first 2 I enjoyed much more, but I still enjoy this a lot. So this is a final rating of 3 stars, but I see where you're going and I am down for this ride. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys all soon with Butterfly and Harlow, which I am so excited for because did not expect that from Harlow. My little puppy dog grew up. I'm excited to see what happens. See you later, guys.